the top and I'm a cleaner. Sipping macchiato with a fresh out. Sipping vodka and stick, I'm a back out. If I'm bringing them back out. Last nigga look that's when I back out. When the money so I see the fast out. Niggas stepping in front when they stab out. I've been doing shit before I had out. I'm a different nigga, they can see that. When the folks never be that. So I'm so bodies. When it be that, that's something I never they be at. I'm a kid, taking up need that. Something I'm facing, I'm taking up beat that. All the fake laws, I can keep that. Trying to stop me, you catching a head tap. Nigga, if you want to go, I'm gonna keep it. Keep a vodka, it's a season. If I follow you, know I'm gonna leave them. Why here, I'm here, don't be no reason. Trying to tell them funny, then I'm freezing. Niggas start telling them once they hit the precinct. Even my mother knew I was a demon. If I got the chocolate, I'm a cleaner. Young nigga always have a knocky, nigga. Run up to me, let it fuck. You thought I ain't letting you rock it. Plus, you leave a nigga on the spot. Like backdoor season, better have your chocolate. I mean, you see what those niggas out. You just be when it's not what you rock. We them niggas that's making it hot. We don't get them mistaken. We try to turn a nigga to a patient. Keeping them for the situation. Why didn't they live it? I'm a flock. I ain't waiting. In a section. I ain't aching. You won't put a push you right and say it's up to a fiction. I ain't never changing. Nigga, I'm 50 and up slip. I was 15 with a 30 clip. Spoke at that niggas out the sip. Go through that block with that shit on my head. Nigga, I'm from you running up trip. Been through that block with that hop of the whip. Niggas on my dick. These niggas broken, they never did shit. Nigga, let's get to the action. I try to block with the definitely chatting. He got 50 singles stacking. Jumping his fucking his friends, we tacking. Nigga. Oh, like white, it's like big knocky, got a kick, bitch how much that when they blow won't miss, who that? Do the taste, bitch how much that thing you in the head, build on the place, smoking on some raw, that shit got a kick, what, bitch I'm the one of you, no, we don't switch like, it's just, I'm a slide, when it's time for the vibes, no you gon' ride, look at the my knobs, shit ugly, on the guys, so you know that I'm clutching my nines, I still move attacking with the five, posted up with the ratchet from my side like,
This is going to be the last day to get it for crazy prices like this. If you want to get this, make sure you add it to your cart and go all the way to the checkout because TikTok will automatically apply your coupons.
Like chicken ugly on the guys, so you know that I'm clutching my nine. I still move attacking with the five, posted up with the ratchet on my side like.
As his season debut nears, sources told our very own ESPN's Sean Trelawney on Sunday. James was assigned to the South Bay Lakers on Wednesday and completed multiple days of practices and 5-on-5 sessions with the G League program, while the Los Angeles team was finishing up a 5-game cross-country road trip. James missed all of training camp in the first month of the regular season because of sciatica affecting his lower back and down the right side of his body. This past week, he was a full participant in practices without experiencing any lingering soreness or pain from the injury. The 40-year-old LeBron is set to become the first player in NBA history to play in 23 seasons when he makes his debut. The Lakers play the Jazz on Tuesday before a rare 4-day break during the regular season. Feels like we'll see LeBron before the end of November. The question now becomes, what will the team look like with him on the court, and will it negatively impact the team's overall success?
You're asking the question. I'm going to ask it right back to you because you're a Lakers fan.
Yes.
What is the team going to look like with LeBron, and will it impact negatively their overall success, which right now is 10-4 in the Western Conference, which is the 4th seed, only behind Houston, Denver, and Oklahoma City, 3 teams that definitively had championship aspirations, and they are ahead of Wemby and the Spurs right now. You cannot ask for a better start than the Lakers have had at 10-4. It would be illogical to think that they could be better than 10-4 through 14 games with the team that they have.
Yeah, I will say this. You're not going to get Austin Reeves dropping 25 like you did against the Bucks on Saturday night. You're not going to get 20 and 10 from DeAndre Ayton like you did against the Bucks on Saturday night. And I'm not sure that you're going to get the 41-point outbursts that you've gotten from Luka Doncic like you did against Giannis on Saturday night. That is my biggest concern. If you're going to change the version of the best players that you have on the team currently, because LeBron is going to take touches away from them. Obviously, the offense is going to move differently because we know when LeBron is in the lineup, he is one of the most heliocentric players in the NBA. Everything orbits around him. But you already have a guy like that in Luka Doncic. And you got a guy in Austin Reeves, a young player that is approaching stardom that you want to continue to feed and you want to continue to develop. You got a guy in a reclamation project in DeAndre Ayton that's coming around for you. Jake LaRavia, he's looked good playing with the Lakers. Like you got so many guys, so many young players that are evolving right before our eyes. I'm just concerned about how LeBron James could potentially stunt them by all of the touches, all of the attention that he commands when he's on the court.
And if his return does stunt them, it's going to be fascinating to see what they do.
Yeah, this is the old fit in or fit out. LeBron James told that to Kevin Love once upon a time when they were in Cleveland.
Fuck y'all put Jay Will on there. Jay Will not on there. Tell all these niggas getting hurt.
You know how you scroll through your feed and you see a really good headline, and you click it, you read the article, and it's written pretty well. It has lots of facts and data to back up what it's saying. But then your friend sends you an article from a different publication. It has exactly the same facts, but completely different conclusions.
That's why, listen, that's why I stay connected to Safety TV, so Aiden Rose, and academics. All that, there's them to have an impact upon the youth. Now the youth go crazy.
So, you
Check,
did,
mate. So Blade don't have a youth audience.
no, hell no.
Step down don't have a youth audience.
Right.
My purpose is the youth. I started a youth organization before I came to the internet called Hype About Hype, helping young people excel.
So right here, what's up?
What's up,
Man, chillaxing, man. Like, trying to get like you, man. Chill with the baddies. Y'all tell Hawk what's up, man. Tell Hawk what's up. That was big Hawk, man. I don't know what the He's a real player, man.
Just taking it in.
Man, you hard, you hard with me. So good, man.
Come on. Yeah. I'm one day, so.
Hey, we see you one time.
Don't told me one day that we with wake up and have fun every day.
Wake up and have fun. Yeah,
Don't take none of it serious, my rock. It's gonna be over with like that one day. And my weekday is gonna be. Yeah, my weekday is gonna be. I wake up to live. Kids and graduate. I wake up to live every day.
Time, man. Hey. Well, we got this. Hey, we can put these moves together. We can take on your
for the Nets. Anthony is out there with Abdul-Jabbar. Then it's Kareem. Then there's West. And it's Davis at the
I think I'm on the phone with Bro, and we just talking about your ass.
Here's Davis.
Hey, I'm glad to see you on the real clear, man. This way I'm going
Yeah. I'm trying to tell you, man, this was Daddy and dream. Big Daddy and couldn't do this. It's real good. I wake up and go to bed tonight. Yeah, you see next to the wall. There you go. I'm real good.
so it's Brooklyn. They're leading 11 points to end the quarter. They're playing a opposing team inside. And it's Brooklyn right back after this break. And here we go, heading back to the action here in the Eastern Conference Finals. And let's quickly check out the scoring breakdown here for Brooklyn.
Well, so far, their long-range shooting has been the story, doing damage from deep.
And guys, they've also done a great job generating offense from their defense, forcing turnovers and making the defense pay for those mistakes.
Wednesday night is quickly becoming one of downtown's most popular night styles. But we're also getting a lot of questions.
So the fans, they are pissed. The fans is hot. They damn near called G Fuller and look on her basically some busters, some liars, everything under the sun except their goddamn names. Let's get into it. Let's get to the first segment because I ain't heard if you think you stop thinking that because this type of funny is ill. And honestly, he's no longer he's no longer boss man. So it says government's initial response to defendant's motion to disqualify all prosecutors and judges in the Central District of California because they had to clap back, right?
To the wing on the left.
One day that they put out there was pretty bad. Let's just do it. The strikers specified an attack in the West Point authorities the files and references facing such further efforts So let's look at the government files this initial response to the defendant's motion to correct factual misrepresentations in their file. You're all lying on this. Imagine the feds calling you a liar. Based on 4 voice messages and a family phone call made by a pair of supporters of Dirtbags and Wilson. So now they're supporters, right? So now they're not good. They're not any of that stuff. And this is how the feds operate. This is funny as hell. Brand new phone call made by a pair of supporters of defendant Banks and Wilson, none of which were made to this point. The defendants seek the extraordinary remedy of dismissal of this murder case and disqualification of every prosecutor and every judge of the district. The motion lacks merit and should be denied. In an opposition that will be filed on December 1st, 2025. Defendants also seek an extraordinary procedural mechanism to address the motion that none of the over 35 district court judges in the Central District can hear this matter. And that it should be referred to an out-of-district judge, as discussed below. The court should reject that request, and all is well established for 455 motion, ruling the motion. As discussed further, the only is scope of the request to follow. First, the court should rule on defendant's motion and deny it on the merits after the parties have fully briefed the matter. Second, the court should not vacate any states in this case, including trial date. Defendants have not asserted that they need additional time to prepare the trial, nor have they otherwise requested a continuance. The government and the murder victim's family object to any continuance or the control of the trial date based on this motion. Well, it's supposed to most have been the same basis for this sport to reduce. Actually, that's not even true. They need to whatever happened before. So you're like, as a threshold man, the motion that correctly represents the party's request that the court refer to this matter for an out of this judge for hearing the series. It is practical. Practical. Not every law establishes that district judges include the value of the motion that they will shoot for about 5 or 3. These involving or more serious threats, anything specifically directed at proceedings judge. See the law it's somewhat surprising and not entirely comfortable. Man, shut the hell up. Reality is that the 455 motion is addressed to and must be controlled by the very judge whose impartiality is being corrected. Section 455 includes notification the referral of the person of refusal to another judge. If the judge sitting in this case is a rational refusal under Section 455, that judge has an individual recuse himself. We along with our sister circuits have identified various matters which will not ordinarily require refusal under 455, including threats or other attempts to intimidate the judge. Cleaned up in that's from the district court's decision not to refuse based on the defendant filing to secure judge, prosecutor, and block lawyer witnesses. That body, the defendant's motion fails to state any basis for supporting citation for this court to refer the motion to another judge, much less a judicial officer outside the central district. If there is not a defendant supported, not been at this court. And even if they were, the court will still appropriately evaluate the merits of the request for refusal. Basically says, hey bro, if this was really a thing, y'all are seeing this outside of the world. This already going down the road, which is insane because they're essentially saying the judge that's looking over this has to say, oh yeah, I'm doing bad. And you've seen what happened with them. So this is phony bullshit. The business motion rests on factually inaccurate claims about reporting ex parte communications between the USA in court. It's rejected because to refer the matter to an out-of-district judge because this court is best positioned to address the defendant's factually inaccurate claim about reporting ex parte communications. The defendant's request is based on the actual search that the United States Attorney's Office in carrying out a secret investigation relayed the threats to all judges in the Central District of California through this court. Note, the defendants provide no citation to support this claim. They cannot because it is false, inflammatory statement that has no factual basis. As this court is aware, the United States Attorney's Office did not inform this court about the threats to the magistrate judge or USA or otherwise engage in standard ex parte discussions between the judge and the prosecution about what's the record of the defendant. Indeed, the email correspondence attached to the defendant's motion shows that the U.S. Senate has been changed about the threats to the magistrate judge. Well, because you just said that. You're saying that they got goddamn informed anyway. That's right, dude. Well, Oversight Council also on the correspondence from the United States Attorney's Office informing this court push us all this to the district about what USA believes that the factual basis for the defendant's claim that an out-of-district judge should hear this motion is unsupported. And this court is best positioned to evaluate the merit of defendant's other contentions. Conclusion. As the Ninth Circuit has explained, we regretfully live in times where aggressive declared judges are not required. We believe the actions are used with the intent of alerting the outcome of judicial proceedings.
55 seconds left in the first half of the game.
All judges in the Central District of California with free charges from the district judges in the district. Come on, bro. So you're literally saying that, oh, 3 judges got this one did so he can hear it. You know, they literally say in the damn motion, yeah. Y'all think that if you break my homie and y'all find out about it, you guys gonna hold some type of thing about it? That's what the motion was about. The defense was right here. The report emphasized that we must be especially careful not to allow domestic violence to succeed in altering the normal course of litigation, as to do otherwise would be destructive of the independence of the judiciary. The government respectfully requests this court denied the defendant's request to refer the motion to another court. The government and the victim further oppose the defendant's attempt to delay their trial based on its.
We'll be back right after halftime for the start of the third quarter. We'll see you in a bit.
It's motion. So this is how genius the motion actually is, because the fans are terrible. What they say is basically, you can't sit up here and say that we have threats and
some great postseason action in the first half of play.
The fans just said we investigated this, and this ain't nothing but some dirt supporters. So there was no actual credible threats. It doesn't say these are gang members that came out there. These are people capable of murder. It should say crazy ass fans, and look, they wanted to threaten judges and all this stuff. We evaluated
and looking at where the Hornets stand in the series.
Out of 10.
Guys, a chance for them to close out the series.
There was no real threat. So when y'all say outside sources on these big ass words, you know you're lying.
So you got to get on around.
So what they're saying is this: the internet has decided to say, we know who are the witnesses. I'm not going to say who I believe the witnesses are, because.
And that's a halftime wrap. Let's get back to the second half with the call by Kevin Harlan and the crew.
So glad to have you with us here as we bring you more action from courtside at Game 5. What a game we're seeing from Kevin Durant.
And with all the pressure he must have felt coming into this one, it didn't faze him one bit. Fantastic start.
His performance shows no sign of any nerves. Great job controlling your emotions.
This is Football Night in America, built by Lowe's.
Welcome to the Football Night in America podcast presented by Lowe's. Maria Taylor alongside Matthew Berry, Devin McCourty, Jason Garrett. We're still outside in the cold.
Yes, we are.
Financial Field. Yeah, the game hasn't finished yet, but we wanted to make sure that we get your Week 11 pod. And let's start with what we saw happening in Denver. The Broncos getting a win over the Chiefs. The Chiefs now 5-5. The Broncos are 9-2. It's almost like a different season. How would you explain what we saw from the Broncos? Let's give them their flowers first.
It was a shocker to me. I thought Kansas City was going to go in there and win the game. So much was on the line in terms of the division. I thought this was going to be the game that gave them a chance to have some momentum to finish out and be the AFC West champs again. Denver did not go away. Their defense is fantastic. They get after the quarterback. But again, like we've seen all year long, they make the big plays and the big moments in the fourth quarter. I give Bo Nix a lot of credit.
It reminded me being in New England, and Josh Allen comes into the division, and we still get the wins. So we're winning in 2019, close game. We find a way to win. 2020 hits, this guy catches fire, and then the belief. The Bills turned into this is our division. And I thought this game has a chance to be that. You're trying to take down the Kansas City Chiefs. You fall short last year. Now you come out and you make the plays to win. That's what they did. That last drive, Bo Nix completing third down conversions, going ahead, getting the field goal. Sometimes that's a confidence you need to say, hey, you know what? This is our division now, and that's what they're going to try to do.
You know, it's interesting you say about that last year. You never want to say something's a good loss, but Coach Payton talked about this after the game.
the loss to Kansas City last year, where they lost on a blocked field goal, where they had that game won, and they lose a blocked field goal. From that moment on, they go on a 5-2 run. They make the playoffs, and obviously this year they've been fantastic. You know, as you mentioned, Maria, they're 9-2. This is super impressive, I think. Last year, Kansas City. You know that movie Freaky Friday? You know where they switch places. That's what I feel like happened. Last year, the Kansas City Chiefs were 12-0 in one-score games. This year, they're 0-5. Meanwhile, you talk about it. Denver keeps finding a way to win, and I feel like they have sort of slayed the dragon, if you will. Like, you know, Mahomes and the Chiefs and all the aura coming to this game. Andy Reid, and I think this is one of the greatest records in all of coaching. Andy Reid coming to this game was 27-4 lifetime, including the playoffs off of a bye. And so we were all like, their season's on the line. It's Andy Reid off of a bye. This is Kansas City's game. And the Broncos said, no, thank you. No. And so, I mean, I think a lot of soul searching going on in Kansas City tonight.
Let me make a prediction, though. We're still in the middle of November. Yep. They're 5-5. They have 7 games to play. They probably don't win the division.
Yep. Right.
But don't be surprised if Kansas City resets.
You don't want to play them in the playoffs.
and makes a little run here, sneaks themselves into the playoffs, and they'll be hard to beat.
Yeah. The only thing I wanted to say about that, Coach, real quickly, is that I think it's got the defense has to step up, right? They finally take the lead in the fourth quarter. They're up 19-16, and you're like, all right, well, they got this now, right? You know, but then Denver marches down, ties it up. They get a stop, and then they end up winning the game.
Yeah.
Game-winning field goal. Go Lutz.
It's a shocker.
Let's keep it in the AFC at one of the teams that the Chiefs right now are looking up at, and that's the Buffalo Bills playing really well against Tampa Bay. Devin, you and I did the highlight, and we were just like, all right, it's just going back and forth, 9 lead changes, Josh Allen scoring 6 touchdowns. It was a fun one to watch. If you're a Bills fan, you get the win, too.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, Buffalo beats Kansas City. We thought Kansas City was hot. We were like, Buffalo has arrived. They figured it out. Then they lose in Miami last week, so now you play Tampa. Kincaid is out. Keon Coleman, healthy scratch because he misses a meeting. Then they go out there today, and Josh Allen puts his cape on. He says, hey, guys, we're going to flash back 2 or 3 years ago, and I'm just going to do everything. It was phenomenal to watch. I think what you said at halftime was perfect, or before the game. Let's not worry about if Buffalo is going to be the team in the AFC. Let's just enjoy a 6-touchdown day by Josh Allen. I mean, watching it is so much fun. Being out there as a player playing against Josh Allen, the experience I have from that, I have nightmares. I tell my kids, there's a quarterback named Josh Allen. He's really good, guys. And when you go out there and watch him do that, it's phenomenal.
The thing when I watch this guy play, I just shake my head because the guys chasing him are great. They're unbelievable athletes. And it's like he's got the ball over his head and just kind of doing his thing and, you know, throw a 3, run for 3. In all the big moments, he makes all the plays. It was something else. They do have some deficiencies on the team they got to address. They got to get that run defense going. But for 24 hours, it's so good all this.
Just enjoy it.
It's awesome.
It was a big win, especially you mentioned the loss to Miami, you know, and they had the losses to, they had the loss to New England as well. And so people are wondering about Buffalo. But
New England's so good. So.
Yeah, sure. Very unbiased opinion right there. Deb McCourty, 12-time captain of the New England Patriots. But I want to talk a little bit about that's a really tough matchup here, and it's like they're good and they're not great. It feels like they're a little bit like Buffalo last year, like they're knocking on the door. We know they can be great,
but I do think they have to get help.
And here's Curry, who brings it up for Charlotte.
Thank you. That's some guys back out there. The end of the year, offensive line was beat.
That's Curry, and it's Booker in at the shooting guard position. So that's the Hornets 5. Gets it to go from beyond the arc. Booker's got 6 points.
Part of the evolution of Booker's game, being consistent from deep.
Lobbed up there for KD. Here's Hastings, defended by Durant. And Curry has it in the corner. Abdul-Jabbar gets to Curry. Pocket 4. Over Johnson. Curry can't get it to go.
And he's very confident from that range. You can't make it.
Here's Johnson.
You know, it's tough enough at the beginning of the year. You're still looking at the schedule like, that one's going to be a tough one, but that one's probably a W. Losing twice to Panthers. Credit Bryce Young and credit the Panthers. They played great, but to me, that was a really bad loss in the division.
Yeah, he took both the losses today.
Hastings.
I'm going to go with this first one. The Chargers, I think, you get off to a good start this year, and it's unfortunate. You said they're playing the style of one of us the fans we want to play. The offensive line to do that. But Jacksonville,
Scoring forward of all time, and by maybe I mean he is. Yet again, it's Durant with a big night.
Curry passes to Hastings. Back to Curry for three. Booker. And a great assist by Curry as that one goes in.
You give a shooter of his caliber that much time to see it up. Yeah, you're done.
And so Jordy Fernandez decides to call timeout. He made the decision to huddle up with his guys.
Minnesota goes ahead at the end of the game, and then Chicago comes right back with the quick return by Duvernay, and Chicago finds a way to win another one. Minnesota had a chance to kind of stay in the fight a little bit, but it's looking like it's an uphill battle now.
I'll come right back to you for who is the best team in the NFL.
talk about them. They're sitting next to you.
Yeah, you know, I got to go with Philadelphia.
They're sitting next to you, Jason. Right there.
I thought it was a big win for the Patriots the other night against the Jets. I really did. That was huge for them. The Patriots are awfully good. Drake May playing out of his mind. I do think teams like Philadelphia and the Rams, those guys should be the best teams right now.
Speak it into existence.
I mean, might as well.
Drake May and the New England Patriots are here. What a win Thursday night. They're just, the energy in the stadium was electric. There's probably some teams better than them, but for right now, we're going with the New England Patriots.
Well, there's a very real possibility that the road to the Super Bowl in the AFC goes through New England. So you guys have played absolutely well, but to me, I think it's the Rams. And I decided that today. When you play Sam Darnold, there's been a quarterback in the NFL that's as hot as Sam Darnold been this year. They get 4 interceptions from Darnold today. Big win. They've got great skill players. Stafford's playing as well as any quarterback in the NFL. McVay's as good at coaches there as the NFL. But there's a lot of teams that you can point to and say they're right there in the next. But for me today, I think it's the Rams.
Darnold will be happy if he never sees the Rams ever again. Last year,
the black jerk. We don't need any of that. He's like, keep that to yourself.
You know, but so much of this, Maria, we talk about this. Week 11, it's feeling like it's getting late. Yeah. But every year we see a team, the end of November, December, they start to get hot. That's the team that goes after.
The Eagles last year.
You know, we're on a lot of different areas to right here about this once of the season.
Hey, good news for you is we actually got ready for football next week. They're taking on the Buccaneers. Apparently, our boss is on sitting up there because they said, listen, it's not going to be 30 degrees. Winds up to 25 miles an hour. That's where we don't need to go. So thank you so much for joining us on the Football Night America podcast. We'll see you next week for Football Night America. We'll be in the studio at 7
He went for the two-hander on the slam, using some muscle.
Some urgency from him there, sure. Hornets trail by 3.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to do CBS Friday.
Let's go.
Make an entrance. CBS's new hit show. Believe in the fight. Boston Green is on new CBS Friday, 10/9 Central.
Kicks it out to Iverson. No good with the triple.
Look to make this one on CBS. Tony Romo stopping by as he does each and every week here on the HQ. Tony, these are the moments and the plays that define players' names. Bo Nix in this moment was spectacular. Look to make this fourth quarter.
Pass to Abdul-Jabbar.
It was a great fourth quarter. I think this was one of those games that's rare in the regular season. You felt the pressure, you felt the moment, and Denver's been doing it all year, but now it's against Kansas City, a team who's owned this division consistently. And if you really want to make people believe, and you really think you're that good, then you'll do the same thing. You're at home in an incredibly tough environment for the Chiefs, but it's been a lot of tough environments to show up. And to me, just that throw by Nix and second down to Franklin, that minimizes their season in a nutshell. That was big time. And he has shown up over and over again in the fourth quarter. And there has not been a bigger one than this one this year. They grabbed the hold of this division tonight.
Yeah, the fifth win this season when trailing at the 2-minute mark. Unbelievable stuff. And a result to go next to this Denver Broncos team. I think the reason I've used in the past, Tony, is I would be the violinist on the Chiefs Titanic. The water's starting to get cold. Maybe not the playoff hope, but certainly for that division. When you look at the road ahead now, it's supposed to shift to what it might look like on the road to a wild card.
And shooting-wise, he's been fantastic, helping to build.
It definitely does. I think the biggest thing we see really quickly is just there's no guarantee they make the playoffs. That's crazy to think about. Jacksonville winning today is concerning because now it was okay if Kansas City won this game today. Not only does Denver come back the game, but the Chargers lost to Jacksonville. So then you're like, okay, they picked up a game on both teams. And they also still end up playing the Chargers. So you're like, okay, that's not that concerning. And with Denver, the whole situation. But now that they lost, they're chasing Jacksonville. The division is most likely gone. And if they get that, then things change dramatically. But Jacksonville beat them head-to-head. So now they're in this position where you're a full 2 games behind them. So you don't have much room for error. And it's rare for the Chiefs not to have much room for error in November. I mean, this next game against Indy becomes huge, to say the least.
Games back of 7, as you said, a 9-year division streak squarely in jeopardy. The Indianapolis Colts straight ahead, the vaunted rushing attack. It's what they look at next in Kansas City. The stat, and so many of them point to a different Kansas City team this year, but 0-5 in one-score games this season, Tony. What does that tell you about this group that had won 17 consecutive prior to?
I think they've been incredible in the past because it's been a complete team effort. Of course, we know Mahomes is incredible. He does as good a job as anybody is getting his team out of trouble and figuring out ways to just win the game. And, you know, he's just always been that guy. But right now, he may not have all the things working perfectly around him. And this is what happens to championship teams. You just can't be that good for 10, 12 years. I mean, it's crazy. The Patriots had to restart. They went through the same phase and re-changed their team with a bunch of new guys. Gronk wasn't there for the beginning era. Then that whole era comes on. And so I'm not saying we're seeing a changing of the guards. I'm just saying it's a lot tougher right now. They've played so many more games than the other teams. They've been in so many pressure-packed situations. I think they brought it tonight. It was just Denver's really good at home, and they're a really good football team. I expect to see Kansas City at their best the next few weeks.
And it's still for short, but this one had a playoff feel in Mile High. Nobody does it. Thank you, Tony.
Scoring again. And how about the lift? West
Thank you.
On his shot, leaning back just
Our team with the NFL on CBS bringing you another classic. This one with ripple effects across that division and in the conference. 5-5 this November reigning Kansas City taking on teams like Jacksonville and others in that AFC wildcard picture. What the heck for KC going to fight?
They're very thankful. You want to see the quarterback throw the football over the yard. We live in an NFL that has really continued to build itself upon the 25 to 30-year-old young quarterback face of the NFL. What you get with the Denver Broncos is old school football. You get a team that is led by their defense. Yes, they had Sean Payton, who made his name on the offensive side of football, no doubt. And he had Drew Brees for forever until we all want Bo Nix to be Drew Brees. Drew Brees is not. But when you need him to be Drew Brees in the third quarter to get you down in the field goal range, times enough this season we have seen him do it. This Denver Broncos team is all about the defense. It is all about Vance Joseph, former head coach of the Broncos, who was able to swallow his pride, come back to Denver as the defensive coordinator, and be just one of the best in the world at his job, as we would want him to be. You know, all of these openings happen, and people talk about who should be the head coach somewhere. Why don't you want the guy who, for consecutive years, has led the Denver Broncos to the top of the defense? Who this year, in games that they have no business being, because the offense has been terrible for 3.5 quarters, Denver Broncos are in those games holding guys like Jalen Hurts and like Patrick Mahomes to pedestrian days. Credit only to the Denver Broncos, but certainly credit to the Steelers. The defense is the reason why this team is who they are.
Because Bo Nix is not playing like rookie-year Bo Nix so far. He has higher offense in terms of a splash plays. They're not delivering like they did in 2024, but they're not missing a beat because of their defense. And oh, by the way, their defense has been dominant without Paxton Jr., defensive player of the year from a year ago. So when you talk about the depth they have, it's been felt. When you talk about the playmaking ability they have on the defensive side, it's been felt, and they've been doing it without their best defensive player also. So Vince Joseph has done a phenomenal job, and these are the games that we need to get accustomed to seeing with the Denver Broncos, winning in ugly action. And they're okay in doing so. The only concern I have with Denver, guys, today they won the ball. They're running without J.K. Dobbins. Skip point. They gotta find a way to get Arden going, or get someone going that can kind of not necessarily fill the shoe. 59 yards as a team. As a team, it helps when another team that ran for 62 on the other side. Yes, but that's not going to be the case coming up. Yeah, and J.K. is really, he was a bright spot for them, providing a sense of balance, even with the passing game wasn't there. So life without J.K. is going to be something they have to find a way to finagle to get the most outcome. But today, their defense did what they're supposed to do. They can get against Pat Mahomes. You know what I mean? So they can win a championship this year. I know a good deal of the advanced metrics do point to a quarterback who's not operating at a elite level. Right? I mean, it's not a Drew Brees level, as you alluded to, the 295, the throw he makes at the end of the game, timing the football, Bo Nix once again. I want to talk about the nature of what these wins have, because it's 5 comeback wins. They've all come in the last 7 games. That doesn't scream sustainability. Kind of like the way they're going about this. If you take a look at the Chiefs and Eagles, and you beat the Giants and Jets, maybe that gives you a moment of pause. Not really, because
at the end of their wins, was able to still win in that fashion against quality teams like the Philadelphia Eagles. You know, just had a great comeback against. It was down 19 in the fourth quarter. The Giants came back against the Giants in the fourth quarter. So they have, I believe it is sustainable because they have played good teams and did it against those good teams. Yes, they put themselves in against, you know, teams where they should not have been, but they still find ways to get out of it. I'm going to go back to Coach Lynch real quick because, yeah, we're talking about, you know, he has not been at the top level. He's still not running. Second-year quarterback. A lot of second-year quarterbacks don't have that same success that we had in year one. But this is what I do love about Coach Lynch. He makes the plays when he needs to, like in the fourth.
You tried Viagra, you tried Cialis, now try to try UZF. UZF already has 3 prescription ingredients in one tablet. Adding morphine to boost the arousal in the brain. Sildenafil for serious strength down there. And Udalafil for up to 36 hours of strength. Dissolves under the tongue and works in 15 minutes on average. No redosing, no clock watching. It's performance when it matters. Yes, that's here. It's literally 3 prescription meds in one. And for me, those items, Chiefs, Mahomes, Broncos, and there's the biggest game for the generational all game long. And then let's look at Sean.
Come on, hey. I don't understand that one, but I mean, it's good to look right there at 315.
Okay, so that sets up this. A second and goal, Broncos at the 4. They're going to punch it in. The Broncos D-Ward have a 13-6 lead on the long division champ. This is what the Broncos do. They want to do good runs, one of the stars, to beat them Denver defensively. They find a way to get them good completion. And then Jordan Hine punches it in. They only have 13 rushing attempts in this game, by the way. If you don't agree, Mahomes. Jordan Hine touchdown passes at 13. Now here we go. 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Only reliable. Travis Kelce, 9 catches, 91 yards, and they're not going to get up. Left side. Not like this is the backfield. This is the vintage shallow. He catches. Knows that defender Bond is going to drive in from that backside. Sits underneath. Massive play for this Chiefs offense, and it felt like this was going to be the one play of putting over the top. Now Kelce's 84 touchdown all-time team record. Extra point block, so it's a 3-point game. Now we're tied at 19, and Mahomes is taken every time they brought pressure all game long, and it worked. 2 times up to the fourth, still tied. 4-15. Rex, how about your guy Bo Nix?
Bo Nix, man, I mean, much maligned, in my opinion.
Bo Nix in front of Oregon, throughout this team, play with outside leverage. He has to throw on the inside. Outstanding recognition. Quarterback, the wide receiver,
windows.
Just let it tick down and let Will Lutz officially change the paradigm in the AFC West for the first time in a decade. The division belongs to Denver.
I think we're really talented. We have a lot of great players.
It's just about being more consistent when it starts with me. There's times where I'm firing and I'm throwing the ball and we're moving the ball on the field at ease, but at the same time, there's constantly going spurts where I miss my throw that I did or a protection call or whatever that is. And so it's about being more consistent. That's what this league is. And we haven't been consistent enough to win football games, but it starts with me quickly.
Number one takeaway, Damian Woody.
I think the Oilers gone. I really do. I think this is a team where, it's kind of like, New England from the past was. In New England, you used to have the battle with Mitchell going up against that team. But I think now these teams, teams going to this game like, last year they got a bunch of one-score games under the Super Bowl, they get selected by the Philadelphia Eagles. Guess what? This year, they're 0-for-5 in one-score games. They're not able to finish these type of games. I don't think teams are scared of the Kansas City Chiefs anymore. They don't bring explosive. They got all they got. All you can talk about, getting the Sheedy rights, Sheedy rights back, Hollywood Brown, JD, all these guys, they're still going to play, still to play, still put the take back in the home. They put the ball to teams that defense and football defense got after it. So you said the AFA was over, right? I think it was over last year. I really do. But the respect is always there, but they found ways to win. You hit right on the head. Over 5. Remember they said that, style points matter, like knocking people out? It matters. Right now, they're not knocking people out anymore. But I'm going to tell you, the thing that to me, this play right here, Vinny, this pass right here, told me all I needed to know about Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos, what they make of your vaunted Kansas City Chiefs. Everybody in the world knows they're going to run the ball. Nah, we'll just go ahead and take our shot. A 7 route was as hard as heck to conclude in this. They're like, we got no respect for you. We're going to get it. And this play right here, something whatever, to bring the corner off of that. Nobody wants to blitz back in Mahomes. We don't care. You know what? We're not worried about you. We're just afraid of us. We're just afraid about that defensive players. We should care less. We are the better team. We're taking the division. And guess what? In our opinion, we don't have to lose you ever again. So guess what? Patrick Surtain, defensive player of the year. Not right. Alex Sneakers, they're really tackling. Not doing that. And they still slow down the Chiefs. And this was again, Jim Hurts has this one thing to do. On the field, they missed the 35-yard field goal against Kansas City last year from Kansas City that cost them the got blocked. This time, they moved it over to the center of the field. They got the 35-yard field goal. It showed you that from last year, Denver's taking another step up. Kansas City has it. And guess what? The Chiefs have won 9 straight division titles. Newsflash. Streak is over. And they're not going to win this. One other thing I want to mention. When Sean Payton took this job, all right, was he scared of Andy Reid? He could have gone anywhere. No, he's like, nah, I'll go against the best. All right, why? He had a vision for this football team. This is what it was going to look like. And it started with building a tremendous defense. I already had a good one from Vic Fangio and everything. The pieces were already in place. He just added to it. And to me right now, when you walk into a stadium, knowing you have the best unit on the field, and that's your defense, you don't care who the hell you play.
So, but no one had a better day in the NFL than Denver did yesterday. They beat Kansas City. They basically put away the long-time division chance, and the Chargers got shellacked on the road at Jacksonville. So the Broncos, right now, if the season ended, they would be the 1 seed in the AFC. Give them all the credit in the world they deserve. I have a question about Kansas City. Because 3 or 4 weeks ago, I'm sitting in this exact same spot. And I've got people telling me, Rashee Rice is back. This is the most explosive they've been since they had Tyreek Hill. They're going to go on a run. Vegas has them as the favorites to win the Super Bowl again. Going to be vintage Patrick and all that stuff. How has that gone away this quickly? What happened?
Well, Rashee Rice was in many ways a no-show yesterday. And what Denver did really on money downs, those third downs defensively said, we're going to double Kelsey. We're going to double Xavier Worthy. We're going to force somebody else to beat us. And the reality was they couldn't. This is the first 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4 of the game. Watch how they double those 2 players. So you're packing the inside, Kelsey in the middle of the field, Worthy up top, nobody. And the only chance is to go route down the right sideline one-on-one. 3rd and 3 down in the red zone. Kelsey up top, Worthy. Watch how the defense double teams those 2 players. I'm surprised Patrick doesn't get to Rashee Rice, but there's really no option to throw the football to there. And then what it does is the coverage allows the rush to continue to chase. 3rd and 10, this is the one that Rex was talking about. This is the only time Denver did it. And once Patrick kicks, walks to the line of scrimmage and communicates, now the defense knows because they're at home, the next time Patrick leg kicks, the ball has to get snapped. No dummy cadence anymore. This allows the nickel defender to time up the pressure. You can't change the blitz ever again or the protection ever again, and that leads to that huge sack. So the reality was, you said 16 runs?
They had a total of 13 carries.
13 carries.
Outside of Patrick Mahomes.
So Denver, like often happens, Kansas City, you're not going to run it. And you can't and you won't when it matters the most. And then 2, Travis Kelce's not going to beat us. Xavier Worthy's not going to beat us. Somebody else is going to have to, and no one did.
It's a time of change in the AFC, right? We're seeing an absolute changing of the guard here in that division.